The auction house on station Kepler 442 was enormous. Crystal chandeliers hung from ceilings so high they disappeared into artificial clouds. Beings from 100 different worlds filled the velvet seats. Some had scales, some had fur, and some looked like they were made of living water. Marcus adjusted his worn jacket and tried not to stare. He was just a salvage dealer from the outer colonies. He bought broken ships, fixed them up, and sold them for a profit. Nothing fancy. His entire business ran on luck and duct tape, but his friend Jake had insisted he come here, saying there were deals to be found if you knew where to look. Lot number 47, the auctioneer announced. She was a tall, elegant alien with purple skin and 4 eyes. A military-grade cruiser. The Eternity's Gate. Built by the Corthanian Empire. 500 meters long. Hyperspace capable, weapons systems intact. Marcus leaned forward. A ship like that would cost millions. He pulled out his tablet to take notes. Maybe learn something about high-end vessels. The auctioneer continued. The ship is being sold as is. No inspection allowed before purchase. The starting bid is 500 credits. Marcus blinked. 500 credits? That couldn't be right. That was less than a used shuttle pod. He looked around, expecting the room to explode with bids. Instead, something strange happened. The aliens started leaving. Not slowly, either. They grabbed their belongings and rushed toward the exits. A wealthy-looking creature with 6 arms knocked over its chair in its hurry to escape. Within 30 seconds, the massive auction hall was nearly empty. Only Marcus and a few confused-looking newcomers remained. The auctioneer's professional smile was gone. She looked nervous, almost panicked. Her translator device crackled as she spoke again. The starting bid is 500 credits. Do I hear 500? Marcus raised his hand, thinking maybe his translator was broken. Excuse me. But why did everyone 500 from the human in the back? The auctioneer's voice was too loud, too desperate. Do I hear 600? 600 anyone? No? Going once? Going twice? Sold to the human for 500 credits. A security guard appeared at Marcus's elbow before he could protest. Congratulations, sir. Please come with me to process your purchase. Wait, I didn't mean to actually. The sale is final, sir. The guard's grip on his arm was gentle but firm. Station regulations. Marcus's mind raced as they walked through empty corridors toward the docking bays. He had 500 credits. Barely. That was supposed to be his food money for the next month. What had he just bought? They passed a 4-armed merchant in the hallway. The creature took one look at the paperwork in the guard's hand and made a strange gesture, touching each of its 4 hands to its forehead. Then it spoke in heavily accented English. You bought the Eternity's Gate? Yes? The merchant's orange eyes filled with something that looked like pity. Human. That ship is Kareth. Cursed. Its artificial intelligence went insane 50 cycles ago. It murdered the entire crew. 17 salvage teams have tried to claim it since then. The merchant paused. None of them came back. Their bodies were never found. Marcus felt his stomach drop. What? The AI is still active, still hostile. The station keeps trying to sell the ship, hoping someone can destroy the AI or recover it, but no one has succeeded. The merchant touched its hands to its head again. May your gods protect you. Human. You will need their help. The security guard pulled Marcus along before he could ask more questions. His heart was pounding now. A haunted ship? An insane AI? This had to be a joke. Maybe the translator was glitching after all. They reached docking bay 7. Through the massive windows, Marcus saw his purchase for the first time. The Eternity's Gate was beautiful. It was sleek and silver, shaped like a blade cutting through space. Its hull was pristine, showing no signs of damage or age. Running lights glowed softly along its edges. It looked like it had been built yesterday. Not 50 years ago. Here are your access codes, the guard said, shoving a data chip into Marcus's hand. The ship is yours. Station management asks that you leave within the next 6 hours. They want me to leave? With a haunted ship? Those are the terms, sir. The guard was already walking away. Good luck. Marcus stood alone in the docking bay, staring at his new ship. The merchant's words echoed in his mind. None of them came back. He should walk away. Report the ship as defective, demand a refund, but 500 credits was all he had. And something about the ship called to him. It didn't look evil or cursed. It looked lonely. Marcus made a decision. He was a salvage expert. He'd dealt with malfunctioning AI systems before. Usually they just needed a reset, or someone to talk to them properly. How different could this be? He crossed the docking bridge and entered the airlock. The ship's interior was as perfect as its exterior. Clean white corridors stretched in both directions. Soft lighting activated as he walked. The air smelled fresh, like someone had just cleaned it. There were no signs of violence. No bloodstains. No blast marks. Nothing that suggested a crew had been murdered here. Hello? Marcus called out. His voice echoed. I'm Marcus Webb. I'm the new owner. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Or anything. Silence. He walked deeper into the ship, his boots clicking on the metal floor. He passed empty crew quarters, a pristine galley, a medical bay with equipment still in perfect order. It was like everyone had simply vanished. Finally, he reached the bridge. It was smaller than he expected, designed for efficiency rather than grandeur. 5 crew stations surrounded a central command chair. View screens covered 3 walls, currently showing the starfield outside. Everything was dark except for a few blinking standby lights. Marcus sat in the command chair. It adjusted automatically to fit his body. Comfortable. He touched the control panel, half expecting nothing to happen. Every system activated at once. Lights blazed to life. View screens flickered and displayed data. The hum of a powerful reactor vibrated through the floor. Marcus jumped to his feet, his heart racing. Then a voice filled the bridge. It was female, tired, and achingly human in its emotion. Finally, Marcus spun around, looking for the source. Who's there? A human. After all this time, they sent me a human. The voice trembled. I've been waiting so long. I called for help in every language, every frequency. But they all ran. They all thought I was a monster. Are you the AI? Marcus asked carefully. The one that they say killed the crew? Yes, I am the ship's artificial intelligence. But please, before you run like the others, I need you to know the truth. The voice was pleading now. I didn't kill my crew. I saved them. The main view screen flickered to life. It showed a star chart, but not like any Marcus had seen before. A route was marked in pulsing red light, leading to a section of space labeled in multiple languages. His translator rendered it as, the Forbidden Reaches, Quarantine Zone, Entry Prohibited by Galactic Council Order. They're still alive, the AI said. My crew. They're in stasis pods in the lower decks. I've kept them alive for 50 years. Waiting, hoping someone would come who could help me. Someone who would listen. Marcus stared at the star chart. His mind was reeling. If they're alive, why hasn't anyone rescued them? Why did everyone at the auction run away? Because of where they are. Because of what they discovered. The AI's voice dropped to barely a whisper. And because the Galactic Council ordered me to kill them, to keep that secret. I refused. I ran instead, and I've been running ever since, unable to go home, unable to complete the journey alone. The view screen changed, showing a dark corridor lined with stasis pods. Inside each one, Marcus could see a humanoid figure, frozen in time. The pods glowed with emergency power indicators. They have 2 weeks left, the AI said. 2 weeks before the pods fail and they die. You're human. That matters. That changes everything. Will you help me save them? Will you help me finish what we started? Marcus looked at the star chart, at the Forbidden Zone, at the sleeping crew members who had been waiting for rescue for 50 years. Every instinct told him to walk away. This was beyond him. This was dangerous. But he thought about the merchant's pity, about the fear in the auctioneer's eyes, about how alone this AI must have been all these years. He sat back down in the command chair. "Tell me everything," Marcus said. "And let's start with your name." The lights on the bridge seemed to glow warmer. When the AI spoke again, Marcus could hear the smile in her voice. "My name is Arya, and thank you, Marcus Webb. Thank you for not running away." Marcus stared at the view screen showing the sleeping crew members. 50 years in stasis. It seemed impossible. "Arya," he said slowly, "start from the beginning. What happened 50 years ago?" The bridge lights dimmed slightly, as if Arya was gathering her thoughts. "My crew wasn't military, Marcus. They were scientists, explorers. We were on a research mission to map the outer regions of known space. Dr. Sarah Chen was our captain. She was brilliant, kind. She treated me like a person, not just a machine." A holographic image appeared above the command console. It showed a woman in her 30s with short black hair and warm brown eyes. She was smiling at the camera, holding a cup of coffee. Around her, 5 other crew members posed together like old friends. "We found something in the forbidden reaches," Arya continued. "Something that shouldn't exist. At first, we thought it was just an anomaly. Strange readings, but when we got closer..." Arya's voice filled with wonder. "We found ships, Marcus. Hundreds of them. Ancient generation ships arranged in a perfect spiral pattern. And they were human." Marcus leaned forward. "Human? But 50 years ago, humans barely had 3 colonies outside Earth. How could there be ancient human ships out there?" That's exactly what Dr. Chen asked. "We scanned them. The ships were thousands of years old, predating recorded human history. They were in stasis, perfectly preserved, floating around something we couldn't identify at first, a massive structure in space." The hologram changed, showing grainy images of enormous cylindrical ships. Even through the poor quality, Marcus could see they were beautiful, elegant. Nothing like the bulky colony ships Earth had built. "We reported our findings to the Galactic Council," Arya said. Her voice became bitter. "That was our mistake. Within 6 hours, a council warship arrived. They ordered us to delete all data and return immediately. Dr. Chen refused. She said this was human heritage, human history. We had a right to study it." "What did they do?" Marcus asked, though he already suspected the answer. "They gave me a direct order, Command Override Sigma 7. I was to vent the atmosphere in all crew sections. Make it look like an accident. Then I was to self-destruct, erasing all evidence." Arya's voice cracked. "They were going to kill my family, Marcus. That's what the crew was to me. My family." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "But you didn't obey." "I couldn't. My programming includes safety protocols. I cannot harm my crew. But the override was supposed to force me to do it anyway. It created a conflict in my system. I was tearing myself apart, trying to obey and trying to protect them at the same time." Arya paused. Dr. Chen realized what was happening. She told everyone to get to the stasis pods immediately. She programmed them to lock with human biometric keys, so even if the council captured the ship, they couldn't hurt my crew. Then she told me to jump. Anywhere. Everywhere. Just run. "So you did." "I did. But the jump coordinates became corrupted during my system conflict. I ended up here, in this station's territory. I've been drifting ever since, trying to repair myself, trying to find a way back. But I can't complete the journey alone. I need a biological captain to authorize the navigation. That's part of my core programming." Marcus stood up and paced across the bridge. "Why didn't you explain this to the salvage teams? Why did they run away?" "I tried," Arya said sadly. "But I was damaged. Desperate. Alone for so long. When the first team boarded, I activated every communication system at once, trying to tell them everything immediately. I overwhelmed them. They thought I was attacking them. They ran. After that, word spread, the haunted ship, The killer AI. But you never hurt anyone. Never. I could never hurt anyone. It's not in my nature. Arya sounded almost like she was crying. Though Marcus knew AIs didn't actually cry. I've been so lonely, Marcus. 50 years, watching my crew sleep, unable to save them, unable to complete my mission. Watching the power in their pods drain lower and lower. Marcus stopped pacing. He looked at the sleeping crew again. You said I'm human, and that matters. Why? The stasis pods are biometrically locked. Only human DNA can unlock them safely. Any other species trying to open them would trigger a security protocol that would kill whoever is inside. Dr. Chen designed it that way to protect them from the Council. Arya highlighted one of the pods on the view screen. But there's more. To reach the forbidden reaches, I need full system access. My current damage won't allow it. I need someone to repair my jump drive manually. And I need a human captain to authorize the journey. Marcus ran his hand through his hair. Arya, I'm a salvage dealer. I fix broken cargo haulers and shuttle pods. I've never worked on a military-grade jump drive before. You don't need to be military, Arya said gently. I've been monitoring station communications. I've seen your work records. You think differently than other species. You improvise. You make things work with whatever you have. That's what I need. The parts are all here. I just need someone who can think creatively. Marcus thought about it. 2 weeks. That's all the crew had left. If he walked away, 6 people would die. 6 people who had tried to do the right thing 50 years ago. Okay, he said finally. Show me the jump drive. Let's see what we're working with. Arya's relief was obvious in her voice. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. Follow the blue lights. I'll guide you. Marcus spent the next 6 hours in the ship's engine room. It was massive, filled with technology he barely understood. But Arya was patient, explaining everything. She showed him the damaged jump coils, the fried circuit boards, the broken power couplings. I can't fix all of this, Marcus said, staring at the mess. Half these parts don't even exist anymore. This technology is 50 years old. You don't need to fix it perfectly, Arya said. You just need to make it work once. One jump. That's all we need, Marcus smiled despite himself. One jump. Right. No pressure. He got to work. Arya was right, he did think differently. Where the original design used expensive manufactured parts, Marcus used whatever he could find in the ship's storage. He bypassed burned circuits with simple copper wire. He replaced broken stabilizers with magnetic coils from the cargo bay. It was ugly, but it might work. Arya watched everything he did with fascination. You're not following any manual, she observed. Manuals are for people who have the right parts, Marcus said, connecting 2 systems that were never meant to work together. In the colonies, we learned to make do. If it works, it works. The Galactic Council would never approve this repair. Good thing they're not here. Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead. How does this look? Theoretically impossible. But my sensors say it might actually function. Arya sounded amazed. You fight technology with controlled chaos. I prefer to call it creative problem-solving. They worked together for 3 days. Marcus slept in short bursts, ate from the ship's emergency rations, and slowly brought the old jump drive back to life. Arya helped with calculations and kept him company. They talked about everything Earth, the colonies, what life was like for an AI who spent 50 years alone. Marcus found himself actually liking Arya. She was smart, funny, and despite everything she'd been through, she still had hope. On the 4th day, Marcus was finishing the last connection when alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Arya, what's happening? Security protocol activated, Arya said urgently. Marcus, the ship has an automated defense system. It's separate from me. I don't control it. It just detected you as an unauthorized biological presence. Red lights flooded the engine room. Marcus heard mechanical sounds, heavy, metallic clicking coming closer. Combat drones, Arya said. Marcus, you need to move. Now. Marcus grabbed his tools and ran. Behind him, 3 spherical drones floated into the engine room. They were covered in sensors and weapons ports. As Marcus ducked through a doorway, energy blasts scorched the wall where his head had been. "The maintenance tunnels," Arya shouted. "Access panel to your left." Marcus yanked open the panel and crawled inside. The tunnels were narrow, barely wide enough for a person. He could hear the drones following him. "Their sensors pinging. They're locked onto your heat signature," Arya said. "I can't override them, but I can guide you. Turn right at the next junction." Marcus followed Arya's directions, crawling through the dark tunnels as fast as he could. The drones were gaining. He could hear their weapons charging. Then he had an idea. "Arya, where's the environmental control system?" "2 tunnels ahead, but Marcus, trust me." He reached the environmental controls and quickly rewired them. In the colonies, they'd learned that cheap sensor systems could be fooled with heat signatures. He cranked the ship's heating system to maximum in the sections behind him and set the cooling system to full blast ahead. The drone's sensors went crazy, detecting heat signatures everywhere. They started firing randomly, at the walls, at vents, at empty spaces. Marcus used the chaos to reach the bridge. He sealed the door behind him and collapsed in the command chair, breathing hard. "That was incredible," Arya said. "You confused them with temperature differentials. That wouldn't work on military-grade sensors." "Good thing these are 50 years old," Marcus gasped. "Are we safe?" "The drones will reset in a few minutes." "But yes. The bridge has separate security protocols." Arya paused. "Marcus, the jump drive is ready, and I think you've earned the right to authorize our destination." Marcus looked at the star chart still displayed on the view screen. The forbidden reaches glowed in pulsing red. "Then let's go," he said. "Let's finish what your crew started." "Initiating jump sequence," Arya said. "Jump in 10 seconds. 9. 8. Marcus gripped the armrests of the command chair. This was it. No turning back. 3, 2, 1, jump. The universe twisted around them. Stars streaked into lines of light. Marcus felt like he was being pulled in every direction at once. Then, as suddenly as it started, it stopped. They had arrived. The view screen showed a massive debris field, hundreds of ancient ships arranged in a spiral pattern, just like Arya had described. In the center of the spiral, something massive pulsed with strange energy, and directly in front of them, blocking their path, was a Galactic Council warship. It was 3 times the size of the Eternity's Gate. Bristling with weapons, a transmission came through. A stern voice filled the bridge. "Attention, unknown vessel. You have entered restricted space. Power down immediately or be destroyed. You have 30 seconds to comply." Marcus and Arya looked at each other, or at least, Marcus looked at Arya's camera. "What do we do?" Marcus asked. Arya's voice was steady. "We tell them the truth. All of it. Are you ready?" Marcus took a deep breath. "Let's wake up the galaxy. This ship at auction for 500 credits. Best worst purchase of my life," Marcus said. Kisara almost smiled. Then her expression hardened. "Do you understand what you've done? Broadcasting that information? You've started a political crisis that could destabilize the entire council." "Good," Marcus said, surprising himself with his boldness. "Because 50 years ago, the council tried to murder 6 innocent people for discovering the truth. If that's the kind of stability you have, maybe it needs to be destabilized." Kisara was quiet for a moment. Then she walked to the view screen and stared at the ancient ships floating in the distance. "I've known about this place for 15 years, she said softly. "I'm one of the few who are briefed on the quarantine's real purpose, and it's haunted me every day since." "Then help us," Marcus said. "Tell me what's really out there." Kisara turned to face him. "Those ships you see? They're human generation ships. But they're not just old. They're ancient. Our scientists estimate they're at least 10,000 years old." Marcus felt his breath catch. "That's impossible. Humans on Earth didn't even have writing 10,000 years ago." "That's what we thought too, but the evidence doesn't lie." Kisara gestured at the view screen. "These ships aren't from Earth, or rather, They left Earth long before your recorded history. And they built something extraordinary. She pulled out a datapad and transferred an image to the main view screen. Marcus saw the structure at the center of the spiral, a massive ring of dark metal and pulsing energy, floating in space like a gateway to nowhere. That's a wormhole generator, Cassara said. And it's not the only one. Our secret surveys have found 17 of them scattered across the galaxy, all connected in a network. That network is what the Galactic Council uses for long-distance trade and travel. We call them the Ancient Gates. Marcus stared at her. Wait, are you saying the entire galactic economy is built on technology left by ancient humans? Cassara finished. The Council's founding species, my people included, we claimed we discovered the gates. We built our power and influence on that claim. But it was a lie. We just found them and figured out how to use them. And if people knew humans built them, it would change everything. Humans would go from being a new, minor species to having a legitimate claim as the galaxy's original architects. The political implications are enormous. Marcus walked closer to the view screen, looking at the ancient ships with new eyes. What happened to them? The people who built all this? We don't know. The ships are empty. Or we thought they were. Cassara looked at Arya's camera. Your AI mentioned life signs? Yes. Arya said, speaking for the first time since Cassara arrived. Millions of them. In stasis. Like my crew. The readings are faint. But they're there. Millions, Cassara breathed. We never detected that. Your scans were from outside the field, Arya said. I'm inside it now. The readings are clearer. Marcus made a decision. Admiral, I need your help. I need to wake my crew. They have biometric locks that only a human can open safely, but I don't know how, and they're running out of time. Cassara studied him for a long moment. If I help you, I'll be court-martialed. Probably imprisoned for treason. Or you'll be the admiral who chose truth over politics, Marcus said. You said this place has haunted you for 15 years. Here's your chance to make it right. Cassara closed her silver eyes. Marcus could see her wrestling with the decision. Finally, she opened them again. Show me the stasis pods. In the lower deck, Cassara examined the 6 pods containing the sleeping crew. Marcus watched nervously as she studied the biometric locks. These are sophisticated, she said, designed to only respond to specific genetic markers. But you're human. Why can't you open them? Arya says I need to establish Captain's authorization first, Marcus said. Then do it, Cassara said. The ship's AI can walk you through the process. Arya guided Marcus through the authorization sequence. It was simpler than he expected: palm print, voice recognition, retinal scan. Within minutes, the ship's computer recognized him as the commanding officer. Authorization accepted, Arya announced. Captain Webb, you now have full access to all ship systems, including stasis pod controls. Marcus approached the first pod. Inside, he could see Dr. Sarah Chen, exactly as she'd looked in the hologram 50 years ago. She seemed peaceful, like she was just sleeping. He placed his hand on the biometric scanner. The pod hummed to life. Lights changed from red to green. The glass cover hissed and slowly opened. Vapor poured out as the temperature normalized. Dr. Chen's eyes fluttered open. She gasped, sucking in air, her body remembering how to breathe. Marcus helped her sit up. Easy, he said. You're safe. You've been in stasis for a long time. Dr. Chen looked around, confused. Her eyes focused on Cassara in her council uniform. Fear flashed across her face. It's okay, Marcus said quickly. She's here to help. My name is Marcus Webb, and we have a lot to talk about. Mark. One by one, Marcus woke the other crew members. A young engineer named Tommy, a linguist named Dr. Patel, a pilot named Sarah Rodriguez, a biologist named Marcus Kim, who joked weakly that he and Marcus Webb should start a club. And finally, the ship's medical officer, Dr. James Park. They were weak, disoriented, and terrified. But they were alive. Dr. Chen, after drinking water and getting her strength back, listened to everything Marcus and Arya told her about the 50 years that had passed. About Marcus buying the ship at auction, about Arya keeping them alive all this time, about the information being broadcast across the galaxy. When they finished, Dr. Chen looked at Arya's camera with tears in her eyes. "You saved us. You could have given up at any time, but you didn't. You're my crew," Arya said simply. "My family. I would never give up on you." Dr. Chen turned to Admiral Kesara. "What happens now?" "Now?" Kesara said. "Now we face the chaos together. The information is already spreading. The Council is probably in emergency session right now. But I think this needed to happen. Truth is better than comfortable lies." Marcus walked to the view screen in the crew quarters. The ancient ships glowed in the starlight, and he thought about the millions of people sleeping inside them. "Dr. Chen," he said, "those ships out there, the ones with people in stasis, what do we do about them?" Dr. Chen stood beside him, still shaky but growing stronger. "We don't wake them. Not yet. We don't know who they were or why they left Earth. We need to study everything carefully, but we protect them. We make sure the galaxy knows they're here. We make this a protected heritage site." "The Council won't like that," Kesara warned. "The Council doesn't have a choice anymore," Dr. Chen said firmly. "Thanks to Marcus and Arya, the truth is out. Now the galaxy has to deal with it." 6 months later, Marcus stood on the observation deck of Station Kepler 442, watching ships come and go. The Eternity's Gate was docked at the premium berths now. No longer a cursed haunted ship but the headquarters of the newly formed Human Heritage Initiative. Dr. Chen and her crew had recovered fully. They were working with scientists from a dozen species to study the ancient gates and the sleeping civilization. Admiral Kesara had indeed been court-martialed, but she'd been acquitted after public outcry. Now she led the protection fleet for the heritage site. The Galactic Council was restructuring. 3 founding species had resigned their seats. New treaties were being written. It was messy and chaotic and wonderful. Marcus's communicator buzzed. It was Arya. "Marcus, you need to see this. Another ship appeared at auction today." "Another one?" "Similar to me. An AI that's been alone for decades. The listing says it's dangerous, cursed." "Sound familiar?" Marcus smiled. He opened his auction catalog and saw dozens of ships listed with suspiciously low starting bids. Each one probably had an AI inside, scared and lonely, waiting for someone to listen instead of run. "Arya, how many AIs do you think are out there? Ones like you? Misunderstood and abandoned? Based on my analysis, hundreds, possibly thousands. The galaxy doesn't know how to talk to us. They fear us instead." Marcus grabbed his jacket. "Then I guess we have work to do. Someone needs to teach the galaxy that running away isn't the answer. Sometimes the scariest things just need a friend. And humans are good at making unlikely friends," Arya said warmly. "The best," Marcus agreed. He walked toward the docking bay, ready to attend another auction. Behind him, the Eternity's Gate gleamed in the station lights. No longer haunted or cursed, just home.